Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The M60 in the Cold War is a fantastic, iconic LMG, and I'm really excited to try it out. We're going to pair it versus the PKM, so we're going to analyze the recoil, the shooting, the bullet velocity, and everything, and we're going to put it against the PKM, which is a really strong and still viable LMG, but the PKM has been, at best, really unreliable, weirdly. So can the M60 actually be better damage profile-wise, velocity-wise? Can it keep up with what the PKM has to offer? Or is it a complete chalk trash rifle that we should never talk about again? Let's find out together. Let's look at the mere base values. So headshot damage way higher in the M60, chest damage, tummy, and extremities, but the fire rate lower, which does not have to be unbeneficial because you're thinking about shooting this gun on a really long range. The range in general is higher on the M60, so we have effective damage range as the PKM does have. And the damage fall on the PKM is, well, more or less the same. We're losing 4 damage here. We're gonna be losing 4 damage here. So that's like pretty much the same when it comes down to the damage fall off. The velocity, the base of the PKM is higher than the M60, but that doesn't matter. We'll talk about that as we build the gun. Now let's look how they behave actually recoil wise and talk about what the attachments do and how much better they can make the M60. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, base PKM versus base M60. Putting it away. Obviously, there are way too many bullets in this gun to spray into one wall. And now, let's look at the base M60. That's fairly interesting, right? The base M60 versus base Bruin. So, technically, the PKM does have a better time to kill, but practically, does that even matter if you consider that that's the recoil of the M60? Now let's kit these guns out. So we're gonna make the standard PKM build that we all know. That's obviously the VLK optic, monolithic, heavy barrel, or extended barrel, but the difference is 1% on each, snatch grip, and tack laser. Standard PKM build. And what we're going to pitting against that right now is going to be the Cavalry Lancer barrel, because that's the only one that gives you bullet velocity 80% plus. Getting this gun actually up to over 1,000 meters per second bullet velocity, and that paired together with the agency suppressor suddenly brings you to like 1,200 bullet velocity, whereas the PKM stops at 1,036. So your bullet velocity is absolutely insane. We're going to put on the vision tag 2 times. We're going to be trying out the Asfit speed grip, because as you've seen, vertical is not our problem, but horizontal might be our problem. So the field agent does take care of both, but I'm hoping that the Asfit just takes care of most. So we'll see the difference and we'll compare them with each other. And then last but not least, the fast mag to have the fastest reload possible. And we'll compare that start to the PKM reload. Now let's see what the full kitted PKM has to offer. Definitely feels way more stable while shooting, that's for sure. Very good. I mean, in stark comparison to what we've had before here, that's like a day and night difference. Relatively straight, good to shoot, and very nicely done. But obviously still very decent amounts of recoil. And if we're now looking at the M60, shooting it away. Yes, if we're looking at that gun, there is a tremendous left and right wobble. But I would say if we're looking at this to this, in comparison to this to this, the Asfit is definitely doing a very good thing. So we'll kind of have to see how could we reduce this even more, because obviously the biggest problem is that you can't control this manually. So there's no way how you can like wiggle this gun left and right to make sure that it does not shoot left and right. You can't control horizontal bounce. So how do we reduce horizontal bounce now? If we're looking at the gun, we can't really do much. So we can compare the field agent grip to the Asfit speed grip. We could try out the bruiser grip, and that's what we kind of have. And then last but not least, we could also try out the foregrip, which should be worse than the speed grip. So these are kind of the options that are given to us to still try with the grips around, and then we'll just have to pray that they do something. Now, I'm just going to start here because as you see, the recoil doesn't really go away. So we have them straight above each other. And then we can see, does it actually do feel better? So, slight interruption of this guy. Let me try now to do the spray so that we can actually look at it in comparison to what we had below, if Field Agent does give us a better control. And now if we're looking at this, I would say that on this spray, the Field Agent does feel better a tiny bit, but this spray is obviously the one where I got stunned. So the Field Agent definitely compresses this. Ignore this one. I get stunned there by little Timothy. But this one compressed it is tremendously more. That feels actually fantastic. Now, the last thing that we would have to test, obviously, what does the first grip do? Can the first grip be better than the Field Agent grip? Can it do more for us than the Field Agent does? And the answer is no. Field Agent grip is the ultimate best one to have here to clap out. One important reason why people don't like to play the PKM. We're reloading it. We're reloading it. We're reloading it. We're reloading it. God. Okay. What about the M60? We're reloading it. We're reloading it. Let's fucking go. Obviously, still takes some time, but nowhere near what you have with the PKM. What did we learn about the M60 and all of this? That thing has no recoil as of so to talk of. If we could now figure out a scope that actually reduces the horizontal bounce even more, like a VOK optic, that would be fantastic. But I'm already happy with the Vision Tech 2x. Definitely this gun can be shot on any kind of distance without a singular problem. You will obviously see that you have this left and right bounce happening. Just don't try to over control it. The most important part with the M60 is I think you just shoot it, because as you've seen, there's no horizontal, so the gun just does not pull up at all. The gun just shoots straight and goes away. With the Field Agent foregrip, the Cavalry Lancer, the Agency, the Fastmac, and the Vision Tech 2x, you have insane good reload speed in comparison to the PKM. You have a very stable recoil. I mean, you literally don't have to take care of anything pulling away. Obviously, you've seen on the PKM, there's quite some harsh recoil, and you can't make it better. You can't slap a compensator on the gun because you want to have the 1,000 meters per second. If you slap on a compensator on that gun, you instantly make the whole gun worse, and therefore your only option is pretty much to just play at maximum bullet velocity. Whereas even if you play the M16 maximum bullet velocity, you can still control the recoil. You have no recoil, and you get even more bullet velocity up to 1,200. So your bullets are just way faster on target than they will ever be with a PKM. I have to say that the M60 really surprised me in what it is and how it is and what it does. Most important verdict of the PKM versus the M60, I would say, is that the PKM is still better. Let's say you whoop it out on a 20-meter range. Yes, the PKM should be better because there it does not matter that the recoil actually pulls it away in comparison to the M60, but it just does clap harder on that 20-meter distance. But if we're talking about 60, 70, 80, 90 meters, yes, that is where it definitely matters. So what we're going to be looking at, we're going to pair the M60 with a gun, with an SMG, or with an AR, whatever you feel like, that is able to have some range. So we wouldn't pair this together with a Fennec that has a stark fall-off. We'd probably rather pair it together with the MP5, for example. The MP5 has insane range. I mean, if you've ever used the MP5, it doesn't matter on which distance you do actually use it. The MP5 is just extremely stable. You have the monolithic integral suppressor, Merc 445 round max, stipple grip tape, and 5 milliwatt laser, and you can beam this away on any distance. Why I'm not playing the no stock, the collapsible on this? Very simple, because the collapsible stock in this regard gives it a little bit swivel and bounce and sway that you really don't want to have. So with this MP5 together on your LMG, you can be zooming around the battlefield and still clap jimmies left and right. You have to whip this out on 0, 5, 10, 20, you're fine. The MP5 does exactly what you're looking for. After that, M60 and go away. And that's the perfect combination for that gun. You can't be using a close range SMG. You couldn't be using a shotgun together with the M60. You need this range ability that you have on an SMG. Also, the same goes for the PKM. So we can obviously whip out the PKM on the 20-meter range, right? On the 30-meter range, 40 and so on. But I would also not play the PKM together with an SMG. I would not play the PKM together with a shotgun because that's not the vibe. I would probably also just whip it out together with the MP5, go away, clap jimmies, go crazy. We'll definitely be creating gameplay, guys, PKM gameplay and M60 gameplay to come, so you can really feel how good these guns are. But I hope I could shed some light on you why the M60 is actually a fantastic gun, how good the M60 can be, and I can't wait to present M60 gameplay to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for supporting the channel so much. We broke the 1 million views in a month, and that was my goal for the end of 2021. So I don't actually have any goals left for this year apart from making really a video every single day for the rest of the year. Love to have you all with us on this journey. It's going really crazy. I'm so excited to cover even more guns and bring all that content to you. I can only thank you deep down my heart for making this possible, for allowing me to be a content creator full-time, feeding my family with this and living the life I do. So shout out to every single viewer. Don't forget to also subscribe, guys. I will have to say this because we have 70% non-subs and 30% subs that currently watch the video. That's crazy. Don't forget the live stream also, Twitch TV P4wnyhof from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day. And as always, see you soon in Verdansk.